Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another video. Billiam here, and today we're going to do something a little different. I've had a chance to play the new Incursion build for a little shy of a week now, and I wanted to talk about some key points I wanted to touch on here. I think overall this update's absolutely amazing. I think it's fantastic. I cannot, if this is content update number 2, I cannot imagine what's going to happen with the rest of them. This game is just going to be way bigger and better than I think any of us ever thought it could be. And I'm just so happy about the team that's working on it. I think they're doing amazing work, and I just, like I said, just so excited to see where this is going to go from here. I want to touch on in my opinion, the top 5 biggest takeaways that I have from this update. And obviously there's a lot that's changed and there's a lot that's been put into this, but I just wanted to touch on kind of like my top 5 things that I've noticed. But I do want to start with a couple honorable mentions. The GCPS, the Global Combat Positioning System update, it just looks, and it's so much smoother than the other one that was there. I'm sure those of y'all that are watching this have probably played the previous build, or I guess the current build that's out now, but the new GCPS is just so smooth, and so it's exactly what you want from a mini map that kind of pops up that you can interact with. The markers are perfectly placed, the feeling smooth, and the thumb moving on the joystick, moving the map around is awesome. They also added an auto center feature, so if you move your map somewhere, or if you move the map to look somewhere else on the map, you hit the button, put it away, pull it back up, it's going to automatically pull up to where you are currently. So I think that's an awesome thing. So if you need to check it real quick, it's automatically going to center where you're at. You don't have to worry about finding yourself. So absolutely amazing. Another honorable mention I wanted to touch on was when you go to hold your breath now, there's a sound that your person makes. It's the sound that they have when they're holding their breath. And there's also a little symbol that pops up on the bottom of the screen. I think that's fantastic. I think that's something that was missing. I personally don't think the hold breath was actually working in the previous build. I could be wrong, but it didn't feel like it was. And then the last one is the reticle updates. A lot of the reticles are different. The biggest one I've noticed is the Viper scope, the 2x to 6, I think it's 2x to 6x or 2x to 12x. The reticle on that is so much better. They feel so much more accurate. Sometimes you were shooting with them and it kind of felt like you were shooting in that direction, but it may not have been exactly where the crosshair was. So I think the new update has completely redone that. It feels like where you're shooting is where you're going to hit. So to start off the list, we're going to go with number 5. The weapon builder. Oh my god, this thing's amazing. This is exactly what you want from a weapon builder. Not only is they give us the weapon builder, they give us new guns to work with. They have the AK-101, 102, the other ones as well. I'm not going to sit here and list them all. They also gave us new attachments. There's new scopes, there's new grips, there's new stocks, there's new lasers, there's new silencers, all that kind of stuff is new. So there's so many more new ways to build your gun, and I absolutely love that. Saving the presets is just cherry on top being able to do that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So that way, if you have a gun that you build that you really like, I think it makes it so much easier. Go in there, press the button, rebuild the gun, and there you go. You don't have to sit there and buy A, buy B, buy C, and all this kind of stuff like that. And it will lock you out of attachments that you don't have access to yet. It'll actually will not allow you to put it on the gun, which I think is perfect. So you don't build your gun out, oh, this is my perfect gun, and you say, oh, well, actually, I can't use this. I have not gotten to the point where I'm trying to buy something that is sold out. So I'm assuming it would lock you out of that as well, but I have not actually experienced that yet. I think this also works great with the new durability system that they have. So if you have a gun low on durability, you can just build a new one, put the attachments on it, hit the button, and you're good to go. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. Talking about the durability as well, and I'm talking about weapon builder, but it kind of all encompassing just the weapons in general. I wish it was more expensive to repair a weapon. I found an M4 one of the raids and pulled it out, and it was only like $200 to repair it from like 30% durability all the way back to 100. So one of two things, in my opinion, needs to happen. One, I think they either need to greatly increase the cost to repair a gun if it gets below a certain durability, or two, take away some overall durability that's there. So if your gun does get down to 30% durability and you go to repair it, well, guess what? You only have like 80% total durability left, or something along those lines. I think that would be a great change to kind of force you to buy those new guns, because it's not as much of a money sink as I was hoping. Because that's one thing late game is you don't have anything to really sink your money into. So you end up using the same guns over and over and over again and just doing run after run after run. I was excited when I heard about the durability that they were going to kind of force you to sink more money into the guns, and it just didn't quite work out the way I thought it would. But hopefully it's something that can change, or maybe exactly the way they wanted. We'll just have to wait and see. One, I'm not going to say downside, but one thing I would like to see change with the weapon builder is the ability to save over an old preset. So let's say you build out your perfect gun, but then you get access to the new Viper scope, right? And you want to put that on there. Well, there's no way to overwrite that old preset, and there's no way to delete that preset. So they need to do something with that. I understand this is the first weapon builder they put out. I'm sure they're going to be making updates to it. But I personally would really like to see that be changed or implemented. Number 4 on the list, the UI update and the stash upgrade. It is just so clean. It fits the vibe of the game perfectly. It is top tier compared to where it was before. It looks like it fits the game. Talking about the stash boxes are all, instead of the current additional storage for your weapons, your ammo, your meds, your gear, you had this different box. I think you could have up to 5 of each one. Well, now it's just one massive box that you can expand, which I think is a great way to do it, because you had guns of varying lengths with silencers and different magazines on them would make them bigger or smaller, longer barrels, shorter barrels, stuff like that. It was hard to fit everything good into those smaller 5 boxes, but now that it's one big box, it definitely is going to allow you to fit more in your inventory. So I definitely think that's great. The overall general stash itself is larger as well, so one of those longer guns that you may not be able to fit, well, you do have a lot of just regular regular inventory space now, and I really like that. The main stash also now has an auto sort feature, which is something I felt like was definitely lacking, especially when you start building up a lot of attachments, a lot of mags, a lot of ammo, stuff like that. It doesn't, you fill up your boxes or you haven't unlocked the ability to open up those boxes further, you can auto sort and have everything right there. I would like to see an auto sort on the additional storage as well. I would like to be able to press a button, have all the ammo types automatically grouped together and stuff like that. So I definitely would like to see something done with that, but hopefully that's an update they can do in the future. Another thing I would like to see update stash wise is the ability to sell multiple items at once. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen the ability to sell multiple items at once, whether it's control to clicking them to select more than one, or, you know, being able to open up another window and then control click into that window and have a button at the bottom or at the top somewhere that just you sell everything that's kind of sitting in that window. I think I personally would like to see that. It takes a while to right click sell, and then ultimately when you're trying to sell old ammo you're not using, or you just have overabundance of a certain type of ammo, you go to right click sell. Well, now because it's ammo, there's a split button there, so you click split instead. Now you have to either join them back together and then right click sell, or you have to right click sell on the other two. So I would like to see a way to select and sell multiple items at once. Number 3 on the list, black market. I think the black market that has been added is going to be great for the mid to late game. It's not really something you're going to be able to use very much early game, just because of the conversion cost to convert cash to the black market coins, which look amazing, by the way. There's no limit on the items in the black market. So as you get into those later games where you have a certain number of, I'm going to say the M80s, for example, sorry, the M62s, for example, for the 7.62x51 M62s that you use with the FAL. You only can buy 2 of them from the main traders. So you definitely have to, when you unlock it, you have to start stacking up on them, or you have to make sure to pick them up every single time in raid. So having the ability to trade in some of your cash for black market coins to be able to buy them that way is great. But at the same time, to me, it's kind of a con, because part of that going through your run, finding a full 60 stack of M62s, like, oh, this is awesome, I can run the FAL with M62s next round instead of the M80s, because M62s are basically a one-shot kill. I think chest and above, it's a one-shot kill with the M62s. So, it's a pro and a con to be able to buy those, right? Especially for late game. It doesn't really give you anything to grind for late game when you have $2 million sitting in your stash that you can just convert half of it over to black market coins and basically buy whatever you want to buy. It kind of takes away the need to go through and find stuff out to loot. Basically, it takes away that need to loot for ammo and attachments and things like that. So I don't know where the balance is for that. yeah, I don't know what the balance is for that. I don't really have an idea to kind of make that better. I like the limit on the items because it is a PvE and there is no open trade market. I like the fact that there was a limit to the number of items you could buy from the traders, and the black market kind of takes that away. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how it unfolds as I continue to level up the other factions and unlock more stuff that has limited items that you can buy. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just very hesitant about it to start with. Number two, and I think this is probably the biggest one for just about everybody, is the query rework. Just hands down, the map is just absolutely fantastic. I cannot think of something on that map that I would change. They have added better pathways to get from point A to point B. You don't feel like you're having to run through wide open areas anymore. It gives you the ability to move from cover to cover. But moving from cover to cover, you still have to worry about the snipers that are in the sniper towers or on top of buildings and stuff like that. It just gives you a better way to play. You can try to be a little more sneaky moving in. If you have a silenced gun with a good scope, you can try to take out the snipers from far away. Maybe get close to a building, get up on a building, take out the snipers, then start picking off people below. It just gives you kind of that sneakier way to play, and I really enjoy that personally. The snipers, I don't know if I can say they got a rework. I didn't see anything in the patch notes personally that said that they sniper AI got a rework, but I feel like they spot you from further away. You're going to be walking through an area, then all of a sudden just hear a crack of a gun, and then your guy flinches, that little flinch effect that it does, and you're just like, oh crap, I got to do something. So you immediately turn and run for cover, whether it's one way or the other. And I've turned and run for cover and ran into two guys right there and had to fight that along with the sniper at me. So it pushes you in certain directions, makes you rethink things, makes you kind of take a little slower approach approaching the factory or the military base, which just absolutely just are phenomenal. The military base now is just awesome. Another great thing they did was they added verticality into the fights with having people not only on the roofs and on the sniper towers more consistently, but they have people walking around the buildings. If you get into a building, there will be people in there, or there's a chance for people to be in there. And if you're fighting in there and people outside here, they will open the doors and come into the building, which is not something that happened in the last patch. So getting to a building, fighting for that building, maintaining that building, keeping people from coming in, and then fighting other snipers around the military base. I did that on my last run, and it just felt so good. It felt like you had to get to a point to where you weren't going to be pinned down, to where you could fight back from that rooftop. And then as you were fighting a sniper from away, you hear the NPCs or the AI running up the stairs to you, so you know you have to turn your attention. You have to get to a safe space to take on that stair fight and then go back to that sniper fight. It's the change in that is just absolutely phenomenal, and I absolutely love it. The buildings themselves just feel amazing to fight in. There's open windows, there's closed hallways, there's doors that you can, I mean, I've opened a door and had somebody like staring at me in the face, and you just have to react right away, and it's awesome. Also having to go in and clear corners in the buildings now, because before, buildings, the smaller buildings that had doors to them, there was nobody in them. You could go in there and get to the roof and then just pick people off and not have to worry about anybody pushing you. They were just going to stand outside just looking up. No, they will push you inside the building now, and I absolutely love that. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And number one on my list, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be number one on a lot of people's list too, is just the sound upgrade. When you're going through an area, the enemies sound exactly where you think they're going to be. If you hear somebody on their side of the wall, they are on the other side of the wall. They're not on the other side of a wall a mile down this road. They are on the other side of the road wall right beside you. And the voice comms aren't as loud either. So as you're approaching an area and the AI are doing their little voice clips back and forth, you don't hear them until you're close to them. It's more of a general normal speaking voice. It's not that long. You're coming halfway up the road and you hear 6 people talking in the factory now. No, you're not sure where these people are. You don't know where everybody is. You don't hear footsteps from the whole other side of the factory like you used to. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to try to put in see if I can find a decent clip. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. If not, I'll probably cut this out, of that sound of what you hear with people around you and stuff like that. And it's not only the enemy sounds that have got a big upgrade. The guns, the guns had that depth to them, that boom factor to them when you shoot them. When you get a silence gun and you shoot it, you get that kind of higher pitched gas release sound. And side note on the silencers, they actually glow red now. If you go play around with one in your hideout and just unload and just keep unloading, because it doesn't take away ammo in your hideout, you will see that silencer start glowing red and giving off smoke and stuff like that. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And last thing I'm going to say on the sound is the reverb in the buildings. As you're walking through, as you're walking outside, you can hear that reverb coming from inside to outside. So you can hear somebody's in that building. You know that they're not just walking on the outside of the building. You hear the reverb in their footsteps. You know they are in this building. The distance is better on the sound. With the reverb, you can pinpoint exactly where somebody is in that building. I have heard somebody in a building across from the building I'm in and shot them through the windows. You weren't going to be able to do that before unless you saw them first, just the way the sound was working. So I think that's just an absolutely phenomenal update to the sound and the sound quality. And one thing I will say, they will sneak up on you if you're not paying attention. If you're not on your P's and Q's, they can kind of sneak through. The only time I almost had somebody sneak up on me, but it was them opening the door, gave me the cue that they were coming into my building because I closed the doors behind myself. Something you need to start doing, because that's going to give you that cue that they're coming into your building. They're trying to push you. So definitely have to kind of rethink the way you play now. I've had to change my kind of run and gun strategy that I had in Incursion, and honestly was getting through just about every single time, except for those couple times in the factory, which we're not going to talk about. But being able to run and gun is kind of gone. I mean, you're going to get shot. You're going to be hit by snipers. If you're not careful, you will be dropped in a heartbeat. I have been already. I have been dropped multiple times here. I was not recording videos. I was playing with a buddy of mine. So yeah, you kind of have to change the way you're playing now with all these updates kind of added together, not kind of knowing the map anymore, having people in places you don't expect them to, not hearing people from a mile away. All that's just going to force you to play this game a little bit different, kind of slow it down. And I enjoy that. I like the ability to do that. I like the ability to sneak, and you can sneak around now. They don't react to every little tiny sound. So your sound to them seems like it's been kind of quieted a little bit. So it gives you that ability to kind of sneak through the map. So I can sit here and ramble on for probably an hour or two, which I know y'all probably don't want to hear that. That's my normal videos. So I'm going to just wrap up and by say, I got nothing but love for the developers for this update. It is by far one of the best updates to a game that I've played. I've played Tarkov. I've played Gray Zone. I've played a lot of smaller indie games that are constantly getting updates and stuff like that too. And this is just the level of quality that went into this, and you can see the vision they're going for now. You know what they're going to be doing with this, and if they continue down this path, I mean, in my opinion, they already have an absolutely amazing game on their hands, but it's just going to be so much better. So, but that's all I have for today, folks. I appreciate you sticking around here for this little bit of time that I'm talking about this. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully this kind of gets you excited for the update coming out on the 25th. But with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, please leave me a like down below. I think I'm currently sitting at 15 subs. I would love by the end of the year to be able to get that maybe up to 50. So if you are one of those people that's watching this and you're not subscribed, please please subscribe to the channel. That would really mean the world to me. Trying to grow this channel, push out more of this Incursion Red River updates and gameplay to y'all. So yeah. And if you have any questions about the update, or if you just want to talk about how excited you are for it, please leave comments down below. I'm always down there, always interacting with everybody. I don't think anybody's left a comment I have not responded to. So please do that. And also, if you want to join the Discord, I have a Discord up now. You should see a link down in the description below as well. Come join in there. We have some other people that love playing Incursion in that Discord as well. And throw up questions up there. Throw up how excited you are, things like that. So thank you again so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one.